Hello everybody, it's Paul East from Torah Life Ministries, and we are doing another episode of the Yeshua Said series, and we are up to episode number 28. You can see the first 27 episodes if you go back and look at my channel, but we're up to episode number 28, and we're going to be reading today starting in Matthew 11. So turn to Matthew 11, and we're looking at what Yeshua Messiah said, because that's really what is important, folks. What we think, what our ideas are, what commentary says, sometimes that's helpful, sometimes not, but really what matters is what Yeshua Messiah said. So we're looking here, and we're looking what he said in 11 of Matthew, and we see him teaching about the kingdom and talking specifically about John. And it starts off here, and it says in 11:1, when Yeshua had finished giving these instructions to his 12 disciples, he went out to teach and preach in the towns throughout the region. So Yeshua gave the instructions that we covered on the first several episodes, and in Matthew 10, which we just finished. So when Yeshua finished giving these instructions to his disciples, it says he went out to teach and preach the towns throughout the region. So then we go into 11:2 of Matthew, and it says, John the Baptist, who was in prison, heard about all the things Messiah was doing. So he didn't hear about some of the things. He heard about all of the things that Yeshua was doing. And remember, John the Baptist was sent before Messiah to pardon the way for him, to say, here he's coming, he's arrived. And so now he's sitting in prison, and he's hearing about all the things that are being done. And it goes on, so he says, so he sent his disciples to ask Yeshua, are you the Messiah that we've been expecting, or should we keep looking for someone else? So that was the question that the disciples had of John for Yeshua. And Yeshua's answer was, and remember, this is the Yeshua Said series. So what did Yeshua say? You know, when Yeshua was being accused by the Romans, and he was asked, are you the king of the Jews? He said, I am who you say I am. And he didn't give them a direct response, a direct answer. But here we see the direct answer. And this is a great answer for anyone that asks Yeshua Messiah, coming right out of the mouth of Yeshua himself. He says in verse 4 of Matthew 11, it says, Yeshua told them, go back to John and tell him what you have heard and seen. The blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cured, the deaf hear, and the dead are risen to life. And the good news is being preached to the poor. And tell him, Yahweh blesses those who do not turn away because of me, those who are not offended by me. So there it is right there, folks. That is everything about Yeshua right there. And that's what Yeshua did. He said, the blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cured, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised to life. And the good news is being preached to the poor. Creator blesses those who do not turn away because of me. So that is powerful, because Yeshua is the way. And he says right here, those are blessed that do not get offended by me and what I'm doing. And there's many, many prophecies leading up to what the Messiah will do when he comes. And here it is right here, all of these things. And we go to verse 7, it says, as John's disciples were leaving, Yeshua began talking about him to the crowd, talking about John, saying, what kind of man did you go into the wilderness to see? Was he a weak reed, swayed by every breath of wind? Or were you expecting to see a man dressed in expensive clothes? No, people with the expensive clothes live in palaces. Were you looking for a prophet? Yes, and he is more than a prophet. John is the man to whom the scriptures refer to when they say, look, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, and he will prepare the way before you. Again, this is Yeshua quoting the prophets, and Yeshua talking about John and his role and exactly what it was. And remember now, he's telling this to everyone around. He went into all the cities telling them about the good news and doing all these amazing works. But right there, that's what he said about John. And everything is fulfilled, and Yeshua talks to this. Now in Matthew 11:11, it goes on to say, I tell you the truth, all who have ever lived, none is greater than John the Baptist. Yet even the least person in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he is. And from the time John the Baptist began preaching until now, the kingdom of heaven has been forcefully advancing, and violent people are attacking it. For before John came, all the prophets and the law of Moses look forward to this present time. And if you are willing to accept what I say, he is Elijah, the one the prophet said would come. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. So again, folks, Yeshua Messiah himself saying, anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. And a lot of people have their ears closed to the truth. They're blind. The blinds have not been lifted from their eyes, or the scales have not been taken away from their eyes. It goes on to say in verse 16, to what can I compare this generation? It is like a child playing a game in the public square. They complain to their friends. We played wedding songs and you didn't dance. So we played funeral songs and you didn't mourn. For John didn't spend his time eating and drinking, and you say he's possessed by a demon. The Son of Man, on the other hand, feasts and drinks, and you say he's a glutton and a drunkard, and a friend of the tax collectors and the other sinners. But wisdom is shown to be right by its result. Folks, Yeshua knew his role and what he was doing. And it was quite clear for those that were willing to listen and see what was going on. Raising the dead, healing the blind, healing the deaf, giving the gospel, and this is it. This is right out of the mouth of Yeshua. So when anyone thinks or says, you know, who is Yeshua? Well, his own words say it. So we're going to look in a future episode about Yeshua, his promises for rest for the soul, finishing up chapter 11 of Matthew. But that was a brief episode of the Yeshua Said series, just to let people know that Yeshua said, don't be offended by me and you will be blessed. Don't be offended by me and you will be blessed. And that is something right out of the mouth of Yeshua. And he said, those who have ears to hear will listen. And that right there is powerful. You know, don't be offended by me and you'll be blessed. Listen. So that's the words of Yeshua Said. That's another episode of the Yeshua Said series. Put your comments or questions below and we'll tackle another question or another episode in the future. Until then, check out the previous episodes and have a great day, and shalom, shalom. Hello everybody, this is Paul Neeson, your Health Watchman. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you'd like more Bible-related videos, you can click right here now to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can get a whole bunch of great videos on these topics. If you want to check out my website, TorahLifeMinistries.org, where I have so many different videos, you can click right here right now, and it'll take you to that website as well. Until then, everybody, have a great day, and shalom, shalom.